Hey everybody, I'm Michael Monaco.
And I'm Bobby Salveson, and we are the Hazmat Guys, bringing you the knowledge and insight to make your job a little bit easier and safer. But before today's show, let's listen to our sponsors. From traditional headsets to in-ear communications, Cavcon offers rugged and reliable choices for any communication challenge and any harsh environment. Cavcon's award-winning Talk Through Your Ears technology is specifically designed for clear and consistent in-suit communications. Whether you're working from a quiet control room or responding to an incident in a full level A, Cavcom has the comm system that's right for you. Any suit, any respirator, any radio, any environment. Check them out at cavcominc.com, that's CAVCOMINC.com, or give them a call at 866-547-4988. Hey everybody, we have a great episode coming up today, but before we start the show, we want to share some exciting news from the Hazmat Guys. As some of you may know, we have been working on a hazmat drill book for quite some time, and we're pleased to announce that it is finally available on Amazon. This book was written by contributors from the hazmat community based all around the United States, and we think it will provide a ton of value for both you and your department. The title of the book is The National Emergency Response Hazmat Drills, 50 Drills to Improve Your Team, better known as NERD. No, this was not a mistake. Anyway, the goal of the book has been to help the hazmat community, and we hope that you'll take a moment to check it out and share it. We have the link in the show notes, and if you have a moment, please leave us a positive review in Amazon. We'd be very grateful. We wanted to get NERD on the bestseller list and give more exposure to our community. Again, the book is called National Emergency Response Hazmat Drills, 50 Drills to Improve Your Team, and there's both a paperback and Kindle version available. Thank you, everybody.
Now let's get into the show.
Hey everybody. Sorry I pushed the wrong button there. We are now doing episode 170. We're continuing on with this really interesting document from the government called Fourth Generation Agents. And that's what we're going to be finishing off today.
Yeah, if you haven't listened to the last episode, it's 169. And just to recap where we'll be in the very near future is Wisconsin. That's in May, I think.
Yes.
We got Cold Zone. We got Baltimore. We got a whole bunch of stuff lining up very quickly. But I don't want to hold these people up anymore.
No.
Let's just get into the...
I do.
Oh, you do?
Yeah,
if
they want, in case they want us to come teach. They should know. They should go to the website. There's an area where they can click on, and they can submit for us to come actually host a class or a course or whatever the hell they want.
True. If you want to upgrade to the best, the best of the best. The best of what's left.
When they're not available, you come to us.
You call to us. We're so self-deprecating. It's so funny.
It's true.
All right.
So where were we, Bob? Talking about these FGAs.
We have FGAs. We fixed the button, and now we are going into a few decon recommendations on this document, which is kind of interesting. So we're going to do this because some of it's a little bit different than maybe what your SOPs or your authority having jurisdiction or whatever. It might be a little different. So we're going to talk about it, I think, a little bit differently than maybe you've been used to.
Right.
Is that right?
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Okay.
So after an FGA exposure, decontaminating patients and skin and hair is essential. Decontamination is a medical intervention and should be performed as soon as possible to prevent the absorption of the agent. That's a really critical statement right there, right? We need to consider decontamination as a medical intervention because it really is. Like you're preventing this material from getting inside of them even more. Because delaying even an hour or a day, however, even after a delay of hours or days, decontamination may still reduce the harm to the patient and the risk of secondary exposure to the people. This stuff is so persistent and it sticks around for such a long time that even days after somebody's been exposed, deconning them can actually help them out. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I actually like that they actually mentioned hair. That is an often overlooked piece. The amount of surface area in your hair is equivalent. Well, for me, it's a little less.
Yeah.
But for hair, is the equivalency in the surface area of your entire body. I mean, you're talking about tons of surface area that the most blustery of us, they wipe their hair through their flowing Fabio locks, and then they go and eat something. You're recontaminating yourself every single time. So very, very important thing is saying you wash your hands, wash your face, wash your hair. That's a great idea. A deer. I just said idea.
A doe.
A doe. A
deer.
Teenage doe. Whatever. Anyway. So also removal of the clothing and the personal effects is a vital step to reducing the ongoing and secondary exposure and can remove a significant amount of chemical contamination. What you are supposed to do, have whoever's in that line, the emergency personnel, they're supposed to collect your stuff and put your stuff in there, hopefully with your license or something, type of identification pointing out, so that they can kind of reconnect you with it. But you got to pay particular attention to how clothing is being removed in order to minimize the spread of contamination, right? We don't just want to all just be ripping off clothing like it's a prom night, right? We want to do it a little bit more because you want to keep this down. And to be honest with you, at this point, a little soap and water would not be. And this is my personal opinion, is that consider this. Putting a little soap and water on you might tamp this stuff down and reduce the inhalation hazard. Do you understand what I'm saying? So,
yeah.
Do you think it's a good idea to maybe wet the... I'm not saying a Flashdance scene where the guy's just jumping around in puddles and shit. I'm saying...
I don't know. I might actually... after reading this document, I might actually kind of disagree with the whole putting the water on. Because they go into great lengths about describing how water does not, it doesn't break the stuff down, and you actually get like a floating nerve agent runoff.
Well, now that's a different story. If it's not being tamped down and it is acting on the surface, then maybe we can put a surfactant in there, like maybe whatever. I'm not making any calls for you guys. You clowns are on your own.
Right, you're on your own.
What I'm saying is, I'm just trying to think of how can I keep this stuff down to minimize the inhalation for people.
I think your best option, and kind of what I'm think they're getting at here with the remove it carefully, is really kind of cutting off the clothing and not like you would take a sweatshirt and you would pull it off and you would flip it inside out as it's going across the person's face. That's kind of what I got out of it, is kind of cut it off.
Cutting it off.
Almost like you would do with a radiation. If you couldn't do a reverse decon or you weren't going to do a reverse isolation, you would you would gently cut the clothing off and peel it back.
Okay.
That way it doesn't, you're not taking whatever.
And running across your nose, your mouth,
Right.
your eyes, and all. Okay, I'll buy into that. That's fine. That's cool.
So, containment of this suspected chemical and confirmed chemical clothing is in... I'm saying this wrong. Sorry. If you take the stuff that is the Novichok or the FBA, you want to put it into plastic bags. And this is really one of the first times ever I've seen anybody talk about like an actual thickness. And they say a double layer in 6mm polypropylene bag, if possible, is critical. Patients' clothing and personal effects should be secured by law enforcement, for the whole investigation purposes. But I thought it was really interesting. It's critical to double bag this stuff in 6mm polypropylene bags.
Yeah, it's very specific.
Yeah. Not even just a double bag, but 6mm, 2 6mm bags, one inside the other, is critical.
And what we do, like where we personally work, is that we'll double bag our stuff. We've been doing this for years, so we'll put all our stuff in one clear plastic 6mm lawn bag, whatever you want to call it, right? We tie it off, and then we put it into a second one, but we'll put a big piece of paper saying, hey, it's Mike Monaco from XYZ Company.
Right.
And so when they have to track this thing, they know where it's going. So you can put your phone number and your address on that, or your social, whatever, so that if you are that victim, you have way to get it back to you. But, you're blotting with your skin. Right? You're using a paper towel, a dry wipe, or dry cloths. Even that will also it'll. If you're doing it with clean stuff, it should reduce your effective decontamination. What we were doing in the past was like, okay, wash them with the same stick and soap and water and everything, and everybody gets the same dirt,
Absolutely. But they start to go into that a little bit, talking about the whole PRISM thing.
Right, which is the primary response incident scene management, PRISM. That's the guidance that recommends 10 seconds of blotting followed by 10 seconds of rubbing on the contaminated area of skin. Now, the dry decon step can be performed by the patients themselves, that's good. I like not touching, along with the clothing removal, and it should be done as early as possible. Now, disrobing and the blotting of skin with a paper towel, a dry wipe, or whatever dry cloth can be removing significant amounts of chemical contamination. That's the key. Bounty works awesome.
Yeah, I was actually really excited when I came across this because me and Bob have been talking for years about this, that we've been doing decon wrong and starting to do the whole, we're going to take the contaminants off with a rag. So the fact that they mentioned the PRISM and they really started talking about, blotting and using paper towels, I thought that was
very exciting.
I thought that was pretty cool. That was very, for the government agency, that was very cutting edge.
Yeah, it really is. It's thank God they're starting to talk it this way.
All right. If RSDL or reactive skin decontamination lotion is available, it is highly recommended. I know that it's something that for me and Bob, our job gives us that for our, for the firefighters and the first responders.
Yeah.
But not so much for victims, right? We don't do RSDL
No, it's
for victims.
us.
It's just for
it's
us.
just a simple sponge impregnated with some crap that works really well. But, water should be utilized per established decontamination protocols after disrobing, ideally with high volume, low pressure showers, including soap if available, gentle rubbing with a soft cloth. I can say this in such a sexy voice.
You could do it.
And active driving with a clean towel after the shower. Low pressure, lots of rubbing.
I love it.
Do not delay the contamination awaiting specialized products such as soap or the RSDL. Basically what they're saying is use soap and want to get it off you as fast as possible.
Yes. And whatever you do, don't use hand sanitizer. Don't use alcohol, because all you're going to do is increase the effectiveness of this shit getting through your skin. This is a big no-no in pretty much, I think, all decon procedures. Yeah. Do not use it. I know there's EMS people out there that are like, oh, yeah, but, I like to use the Skell gel. All right, listen, don't do that after this stuff. All right, because all you're doing is opening up your pores. If you got a little bit of stuff on you, it's going to go right through.
Totally. Dude, that Skell gel or Purell, whatever the hell you call it, that is NG for hazmats. Do not use that stuff. That presses stuff right through the skin. It enhances the absorption. So don't use that. Don't use bleach, right? Don't use bleach to decontaminate your skin. In fact, it is not a good idea to use bleach on your skin ever.
But there are people out there that they'll bleach, certain parts of their body.
We're not talking about changing your ringtone or something like that. We're talking about putting bleach on to kill some type of chemical or bug.
Right.
No go. No, don't do that.
You're just going to kill your skin, you idiot.
Yeah.
All right. FGAs, they are not readily degraded by water. Thus, avoid direct contact with the runoff. The U.S. Environmental Protection Agency, the lovely people over at the EPA, issued a statement in 2000 generally allowing responders to prioritize actions to save human lives and protect health, right? We all understand this one. This is our emergency decon. This is where we turn around and we say, okay, listen, if somebody's life is in danger, we don't really give a crap about the environment. Go ahead, hose them off, let the contaminants go on the soil, let it go in the road, whatever you have to do to save that life.
Deal with it later.
But with something like this, you have to actually deal with it later in a more immediate sense, right? Because after the imminent threats are addressed, responders should immediately take all the reasonable steps to contain the contamination, including the decontamination runoff, and mitigate environmental consequences.
You've heard us talk about First Line Technologies' Dahlgren Decon solution and their FiberTech wipes and mitts. They've just come out with Enhanced Decon Systems Kit, which contains everything you need to quickly decontaminate 6 to 24 operators and all their gear in one fully equipped grab-it-and-go bag. This kit has been hazmat team tested and approved, and it's the only full-team modified decon kit with the power of Dahlgren Decon and FiberTech wipes to counter hundreds of known and emerging threats. The EDS kit is perfect for incidents where a small footprint, low logistics decontamination SOP is appropriate. Are you operating in a harsh environment? No problem. Whether it's minus 10 or 104 degrees F, Dahlgren Decon will maintain its effectiveness and can be easily applied to neutralize threats. The kit is stable in temperatures from minus 40 to 160 degrees F if you carry the RSDL with you. If you use all the consumables in the kit, unlike other rapid deployment kits, you do not need to buy a complete kit to resupply. Just purchase one of the First Line EDS replenishment packs and order just the elements you need. When ounces count and the clock is ticking, grab the EDS kit and go. Call the guys at First Line Technology for more information or a quote at 703-955-7510 or email them at sales@firstlinetech.com. Yeah. This is pretty badass stuff. Now, we're not going to dive deep into medical treatment long term. However, there is an interesting side note in the treatment section that states, meticulous attention to supportive and symptomatic care is key to patient management. FGA exposures may be resistant to initial and typically recommended medication doses, requiring significantly higher doses and a longer duration of repeated dosing than other nerve agent exposures. So, wow.
And that's kind of something for us that's really good to know, because I think what they're basically saying is that you're going to pop them with the 2-PAM chloride and the atropine, and you may not get the effects that you're looking for, right? Because
that's what I'm reading.
Those doses in the field, they may be good enough for your general organophosphates poisoning, and in no means are we saying go against your protocols. But if you are that EMS provider, that should be in your mind that somewhere in your procedures, you should have the flexibility to call a doctor or to, administer more. You're going to have to be ready to administer more. And if you're the incident commander on this, and somebody's going, well, we've got 30 patients and we've got 90 doer dotes, maybe I need a little bit more.
Right. And if you really want to dive more into this treatment aspect, follow the link at the bottom of the show notes on the website, www.thehazmatguys.com, whatever the hell this address link is. I don't know, because you know what, dude, every time I put it in here, it's like this it's like whatever the title is with underscores. So just come to the website and do a search for 4th Gen agents, and you'll find this really quickly.
Or go through every episode starting with 1. You'll eventually find it.
You know what, that's probably the most effective way of finding these show notes. But we aren't medical professionals, so I really wouldn't be able to tell you what treatment is different, because FGA versus a typical nerve agent, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either. That's why we're not going to get into it, because we don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
A small side note on this document. Now, I don't know if this is true for all chemical warfare agents, but the document suggests for disposal to actually incinerate the waste, which is kind of a cool thing to know in the back of your head. But I got to be really honest with you. For the typical jackasses that are listening to the show, right? Me, Bob, anybody else, I don't think that decision is going to be anywhere near our footprint, because I have a feeling that if this 4th generation agent were actually to come to the United States, by the time the phase of the operation comes about where we're actually starting to dispose of stuff, the federal government, their response is going to have been so quick it's not even funny. But it was just a side note as like an interesting thing.
Now in England, they used the recommended PPE that in a real world test, and nobody got hurt. Again, it is not necessarily to differentiate that other CWAs, but it's probably different than your protocol. So it's good to know what the suggestion is. Now, these are for patients who have been deconned and given treatment. So for you that are in my EMS hospital and friends, good luck.
All right. So really, we're looking at 2 pairs of single-use nitrile gloves with extended cuffs, outer gloves that should be a minimum of 7 millimeters thick at the palm, and the inner gloves should be no thicker than a minimum of 5 millimeters at the palm. Change your gloves every 15 minutes or when they become soiled.
Yes, or one pair of single-use disposable 15 mil nitrile or 14 mil butyl rubber gloves and change every 2 hours or when soiled.
Yes. Now, this next one, I definitely see it landing within the hospital realm because this is almost exactly what people were wearing for the Ebola when we were training them for the first receiver. So, single-use disposable shirt. Wow, I cannot talk fast today.
That's
Hold on.
okay.
Single-use disposable surgical or isolation gown, a single-use disposable apron that covers the torso to the level of mid-calf, a single-use disposable sleeves. Gown should be worn as per ANSI, a whole bunch of letters. If you want to know them, go to the show notes. A level 3 or 4 that's required, and an apron and sleeves should be constructed of fabric that provides protection against VX.
Or a single-use disposable coverall that should be made of the same material that would be compatible with VX, as well as a single-use full face shield.
Woo! Now, that is best case scenario.
Best case.
Best case scenario, which the people responding to this is not best case scenario. So
No.
at a very minimum, a very, 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 very minimum, you should be wearing 2 pairs of nitrile medical gloves, a gown, eye shields, or face protection, and goddamn it, stay away from the body fluids.
Yeah. Now, some of that information we'll be using, like the identification of samples. The current technology is limited with respect to this field in general, but the MA paper may give us a good recognition. It will initially turn yellow or green, or greenish blue, and over the course of 10 minutes will shift to a more of a mellow color, right?
Yeah.
If you look at the pictures on the document, it will almost look dark green in the middle with a yellow halo around, which, I'll be honest with you, I've been playing around a lot with MA paper, and if you put your simulants on there like MSSO or oil of wintergreen, you'll get this halo. Exactly what we're talking about right here, if you put enough of it on.
Yeah. Yeah, and that halo it'll go over time. So about 10 minutes time, and you actually will see the 2 separations occur.
Totally.
If you want to know exactly what we're looking at, go to those show notes. We'll click onto the document, and there are pictures in there. Now, a little bit about our PPE. And not that there's really anything different as to what we would be doing, but we figured it's just really good to go over. It's pretty much the same as the other nerve agents, right? We're looking at 2 different suits. You're looking at your 1991 or your level A and your 1994 suit, which is really no level at all. I don't know. It's a B, it's an A, it's an AB.
Is it class 1,
It's
2, 3,
yeah,
4?
It's all that stuff. But Bob, if you were going to respond to this type of a nerve agent, what would you prefer, an A or a 94? Yeah.
Oh, you're asking me.
I'm asking you.
I thought you were asking the studio.
No, I
I'd
want to know
probably
what
be
your
taking-
thoughts are.
I'd probably be taking a 94 type 4.
Okay, why?
I don't know if you really need like a 94 type 1, 2, even 3. You're talking about like hot zone, warm zone. I think this is more of a BBP type thing, like a bloodborne pathogen. So I'd be pretty comfortable with like the 94, 3 or 4.
Yeah, I'm digging the 94 as well. I got to be honest with you. I think the A on this is way too overkill.
Yeah.
And I just feel like, especially in a level A suit, your risk of that exposure while getting that suit off it's high. And you're in a good vapor. I mean, granted, it's not 100% vapor tight, and you're ruining your SCBA in the long run. But I don't really care about my SCBA at that point. I just need to be comfortable, and I feel like I can operate more comfortable in a 94.
Yeah. I think that's I wouldn't be wearing turnout gear or bunker gear. No, that's definitely SCBA. But I'd be wearing some type of 94 suit, I think.
Yeah, I think I would, depending obviously on my mission. But even a mission where I'm going to actually neutralize the stuff, I don't think I'd have a problem in a 94 suit.
No, but even if you're talking about like a neutralization, and you're saying, well, there's a potential of splash, I'll even give you a B. I'll give you a 92 suit.
Right, as long as you had
That's the highest.
like an encapsulated B.
Yeah, sure, fine. If it's above your head, and it's gonna be spilling down, you fine. I'll give you an encapsulated 92. But for 95% of this thing, it's a 94.
Yeah, I would agree.
If you have a moment, please head over to iTunes and leave us a positive review. And don't forget to check out the book, National Emergency Response Hazmat Drills, or NERD, on Amazon.
Well, that wraps up another episode of the Hazmat Guys.
You can find us on Facebook, Twitter, and our YouTube channel at The Hazmat Guys. And take a moment to call our comment hotline at 843-628-1484 and go to www.thehazmatguys.com and sign up for the newsletter.
We seriously look forward to your feedback about any of the information provided, and we also want to hear about interesting incidents that you were a part of. So you can send us a note at feedback@thehazmatguys.com. And remember, any of the information that you share with us, if we put it on air, can always remain anonymous.
Remember, guys, don't just get on the job. Get into the job.